بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
الحمد لله يا أرحم الراحمين أرحم الراحمين أرحم الراحمين. صلي وسلم وبارك على سيدنا حبيبنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه الطيبين الطاهرين. بسم الله. لا حضرة
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لحضرة النبي الفاتحة.
آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
I bring myself to the door of God, in the name of God, closer to me than all my relatives, creator of relationships and the one who nurtures them best. My devotion and my praises flow to God, the guide and nourisher of the soul and conscience of every being, the one Lord, closer to me than myself, the one to whom I belong, the ground of my being, the source of my life and the origin of my identity. I sing the name of my Lord, King of my heart, owner of my soul, judge of my intentions, the truth of my interactions, and the sincerity of my engagement with Him. My Lord and nourisher of my soul, here I am in your court, honored by this private audience with you. I stand before your majesty. I beseech you on my behalf and on behalf of all creation, echoing the eternal voice of all conscious beings, those who came before me, those who are living with me, and those who will come after me. I say, our journeying is to you, and in you we find our strength, assistance, and support. You light the way and you give the will. You are the end and you are the means. Guide us on your straight path. Lead us in your good way, the way of eternal bliss, walked by your beloved ones, those who awaken to become witnesses to your abundant grace, who appreciate and fully experience your blessings. I seek refuge in your eternal grace and everlasting light, my Lord and teacher of my soul, from being of those who are blind to your beauty and goodness, who stay deaf to your call of love, those who consume, dishonor, devalue, or take your gifts for granted. I seek refuge in your eternal grace and everlasting light, my Lord and teacher of my soul, from being of those whose resistance has made them experience divine gifts as deprivation, for whom blessings become barriers, and opportunities for guidance and closeness to you become the very cause of their severance. I knock at your door, my Lord. I am at your threshold. Do not let me turn away. May this door never become an obstacle. Open my being to you and open the way for me. Amen.
آمين يا أرحم الراحمين رب العالمين. بسم الله.
Bismillah. Alhamdulillah. So the intention of this class was to speak about Qur'an and talk about the tafsir, the way to understand the verses of Qur'an, the word of God. And we began this class by talking about how you need to have certain prerequisites before you even start to try to understand the message that God is giving us in this letter, which is addressed to us. And that the Fatiha, the prayer of opening, sets the tone, sets the inner landscape that you need to have as you come to recite the Word of God and try to understand the Word of God. And this could not be more important than it is when we have a situation where we are not used to the Arabic language. This setting the tone inside ourselves becomes ever more important when we have already a challenge when it comes to even the literal understanding of words, as we saw in the last two classes. We saw in the class that we had yesterday that there are many different ways to understand a single word, depending on its context, depending on where it's coming in a sentence, depending on the preposition that comes after it. So imagine the variety that's possible in meaning if you're not really used to the Arabic language, and we have this challenge of translation. So one of the things that often is troublesome for readers of Qur'an who have perhaps not taken the necessary preliminary steps to prepare themselves to recite Qur'an is this question that seems to be perennial, at least in our generation, of why does it feel like the Qur'an addresses men and not women? And so yesterday we got a question like that from a sister who said, Assalamu alaikum, inshallah you've been having a blessed and wonderful Ramadan. I wanted to ask you about something. I've read in the Qur'an in a few verses, for example, verse 54 of Surah Al-Dukhan, which have brought a lot of dark feelings into my heart, and I'm not sure what to do with them or how to handle it. And so she continues, she says, I wanted to ask that you make dua, that you pray for me, and that if there's any resource that might help, that you would recommend it to me. And then she says, I would like to talk about, what's bothering me in terms of these verses. So I asked her, what exactly is bothering you? And she said, one bit is that sometimes I'm hit with the feeling that this is a religion for men and that we are secondary as women. There is this reward addressed for men, but nothing said for women who enter paradise. It feels similar to the thought of a man being married to multiple women. I keep interpreting it as women having to endure these situations where men profit sensually. And the other is that I feel a bit of jealousy, a real jealousy and anger at the thought of husbands being wed to others. So she says, I never have a doubt about being Muslim, but I do not think that I maintain a good opinion of God as I am meant to. So imagine how important it is to have access to the meaning of Qur'an so that we don't find ourselves so deeply troubled when we come to recite it, as this person is and as many like her are. So this is a question that we're going to...
What is the first?
The first question regards she mentions the verse, and this verse refers to the Hurun Ayn, which is often translated as the maidens or the virgins of paradise. That type of interpretation is usually the translation that's given. So she's troubled by that for two reasons. One is that that's obviously for men, and there's nothing mentioned of what women would get in that situation of entering heaven. And number two, those same men who are getting all these maidens as their wives, they had for example, her husband has her as a wife, and how does that make sense that upon entering heaven now he has a whole bunch of other wives? How is that heavenly for her? How is that a reward for her if she has to put up with that, even in the heavenly context that she would have to? And the other thing that she mentioned, which she didn't focus on, but I think it's pertinent, is the idea that there are sensual benefits for men in heaven. This idea of sensuality, which perhaps doesn't sit well with her when thinking of heavenly rewards. Something that you have talked about before.
So?
Well, go ahead, you're the one. I mean, first of all, it's not only for her, but many people find it strange to imagine a life in which we're asked by God, and even by people like Maulana Rumi. We've been reading Maulana Rumi, who's saying, renounce your sensuality and sharpen your spirituality and turn away from all of those things. And that after living a life like that and reaching a sense of joy in our spiritual being, that the reward for that will be to be just treated with all kinds of sensual pleasures, if you like, or carnal experiences in heaven. And that's a question that many have asked, that I'm renouncing those things in this life willingly. And I don't believe that actually there's that much value in those things, and yet it sounds as if...
This reminds me of those who misunderstood Ibn al-Farid and al-Khayyam and their khamriyat.
And even Maulana Rumi actually.
And the Orientalists who say, look, Umar al-Khayyam or Umar ibn al-Farud, they love wine. They're talking about this wine. Or actually more than that, even the King David, Sayyidina Dawood alayhi salam in the Psalms. Oh, who is talking about this lady? أماطت عن محاسنها الخمارة. Sayyid al-Harraq, he translated the Psalm of David. Maybe he translated it or just he got inspired the same thing, but actually it's exactly word per word. أماطت عن محاسنها الخمارة فخلفت العقول بها حيارة. When she lifted her
veil.
When she lifted
her face veil.
When she lifted her face veil, she left the brains after that. She left the minds. Take that chair, Alex. That one is for you. And bring it here. Habib, come close here. Yeah. Alhamdulillah. Bismillah. So, أماطت عن محاسنها الخمارة فخلفت العقول بها حيارة. How to say? Go ahead.
When she lifted her face veil, she left the viewers in a state of complete confusion and bewilderment at her beauty.
كمل. أيوة. وبثت في صميم القلب شوقا توقد منه كل الجسم نارا.
And she sent into each and every heart, the depth of every heart, a deep longing and desire for her, such that even the bodies were lit aflame.
Last, it sounds very sensual. Very. Let us say it again. أماطت عن محاسنها الخمارة فخلفت العقول بها حيارة.
She lifted her face veil and left the viewers in such a state of bewilderment at her beauty.
So Sidi Anas is saying, Allah, you think that Sidi Anas is longing for a woman like that? Okay. You see, his face became red. No, because he's like, Allah. Again, أماطت عن محاسنها الخمارة فخلفت العقول بها حيارة. Say.
She lifted her face veil, showing her beauty, and the minds of everyone who saw her became bewildered at that sight.
وبثت في صميم القلب شوقا فتوقد منه كل الجسم نارا. أيوة، هو جسم زاد من فوق كان ما عجبكش. وبثت في صميم القلب شوقا توقد منه كل الجسم نارا. أيوة.
And she sent into each heart such a yearning for her that the very bodies became on fire with that urge.
What's happening here? اسم الحراق هذا. The burning one. أيوة كمل. وألقت فيه سرا في القلب هذا سرا ثم قالت أرى الإفشاء اليوم منك عارة. أيوة. إذا تخبر بالحديث هذا بالسر اللي احنا من بيناتنا عار عليك. خلي القصة مكتومة بيناتنا. خلي القصة سرية.
And she put a secret in their hearts, and she said, if ever you are to share the secret that I've shared with you, it will be a shame upon you.
I have to keep our story private. أيوة. هل يستطيع كتم السر صب إذا ذكر الحبيب إليه طار.
Can any heart really keep that kind of a secret if it remembers its beloved?
به لعب الهوى هذا المحب شيئا فشيئا فلم يشعر وقد خلع العذار. خلاص ما عادش حاشد. لعب الهوى ولا بلانت.
Little by little his passion got to him, this person who witnessed this beauty, until he lost all shyness and became bold in his desire.
A poem. الحراق. أماطت عن محاسنها الخمارة. She doesn't need to. She just needs to listen and focus with us. Go ahead. إلى أن صار غيبا في هواها، معناها تهبل، مع غاب في هواها، يشير لغيرها ولها أشارة، حتى لما يتحدث على غيرها هو يتحدث عليها هي. أيوة.
Until he lost his mind in his love for her, and so that even when he would be referring to someone else or speaking to someone else, he was actually all the time referring and speaking to her.
الله أكبر, about her. أيوة. أيوة. يغالط في هواها الناس طرا ويلقي في عيونهم الغبار. يكذب على الناس، يغلطهم، يقول لهم نحكي على حد آخر مش عليه هي.
Yeah, he doesn't admit to people who he's really in love with, and he just sort of makes them think it's someone else.
كمل. أيوة. ولو فهموا دقائق حب ليلى كفاهم في صبابته اختبارا. كمل. كمل. ها؟ Okay, repeat for her. قبلها سطر القبل. ويسأل عن معارفها التذاذا، يسأل الناس عن معارفها التذاذا ويتلذذ، يسأل قل لي كيف عيونها، كيف أنفها، كيف شعرها، كيف، ويتلذذ بالوصف. أيوة. فيحسبوها الناس أن إيش بو هذا، إيش صار فيها. أيوة.
He goes around asking people about her beauty, about the description of her facial features,
attributes and qualities,
and he just loves, because he just loves to hear those things repeated to him. And people ask when they see that kind of state that he's in, what's wrong with this person?
ولو فهموا دقائق حب ليلى.
And if they understood the subtlety of the love of Layla.
So Layla now, it's a woman, خلاص 100% with her name and everything. Yeah. أيوة. يعني كفاهم في صبابته اختبار الامتحان، تست، يعني خلاص حالته تكفيهم امتحان. حالته لو فهموا دقائق حب ليلى، الصبابة متاعه هذيك يعني أحسن علامة، هي أكثر علامة. لو كانوا فاهمين المحبة، حالته هي أحسن علامة، هذيك علامة المحب الحقيقي يعني.
And if they only understood the subtlety of Layla's love, this person's state would be enough of a proof of its existence.
أيوة. إذا يبدو امرؤ، إذا يجي راجل من حي ليلى يذل له وينكسر انكسارا بقبل الإيد.
If he comes across anyone, even from the neighborhood of Layla, he
take off even. If he comes across anyone from
the neighborhood of Layla, he bows down to that person and shows complete humility before that person, treating him like someone great.
ولولاها لما أضحى ذليلا يقبل ذا الجدار وذا الجدار. If it is not for her, ما صار هذا ذليل وهو يبوس في الحيطان يعني. هذا she wasn't sitting here, she was standing.
And if it were not for her, he would never have come to the state in which we find him, where he is kissing this wall and that wall, because she was once there and she once stood by that wall.
يلا. ولكن حب من سكن الديار وما حب الجدار وما حب الديار شغفنا قلبي ولكن حب من سكن الديار.
And it's not the love of those walls or those buildings that has filled my heart with love, but it's the love of the one who lives in those walls and those buildings.
ولما أن رأت حبي إليها وذلي لم يزد إلا انتشار. لما شافت ذلي وحبي لما and when and he'll continue. Trahat, the second line, she translates both of them together. ذلة. كمل. أباحت وصلها. أيوة. أباحت وصلها. بعدك شو مش يجيك له. ولما رأت تذللي وأني يعني هكذا ومحبتي وكذا أباحت وصلها في الآخر. ولما رأت كمل. وأحسب في هواها الذل عزا. الذل نعتبره عز في هواها. أيوة. وحقري في محبتها نحسب افتخارا. أيوة. عند ذلك أباحت وصلها.
When she saw my humility before Her Majesty, and when she saw that my love and my willingness to bring myself low only increased and only was only a sense, was only for me a sense of pride, that even my humility in her presence was actually a pride for me. When she saw all of that, then she
أباحت وصلها.
Then she made it possible for me
she allowed
to connect to her.
She allowed the وصل.
She let me. She made union possible.
أيوة.
She opened her door to me.
مش صار لما تغدونا من مدامتها سكر. أيوة. أيوة. الله أكبر. وهذا كلامه. وأن شيء على كل حال يعني she gave him to drink. She gave him to drink wine, and they were enjoyed. But after that, when she lifted the veil and he saw her face, he forgot the wine because her face was even more intoxicating than the wine. So, to make the story short, and you find here people with beards, with turbans, like this. When they hear this, tears like this. Tears with blood. What's happening to these people? Is he talking about a woman? So if he's talking about a woman, what's happening to these people? So an Orientalist will come and see, what are these men here? What's happening to these men at 8-year-old? They're living their adolescence again, or what? And you find, Allah, 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 يسيه. وقال كما تتعمى حسن الخمار. And you find them, people are really excited about this, etc. And then actually, this is one of the qasida, they call it khamariyat, hadra. This is one of the qasida when khalas, people, they can't even keep listening to it. These the elders, they will say, خلاص هو كمان هي حصلت يعني وتتحدث على هذا وتتحدث عن النساء بعدين هكا. When an Orientalist or a Salafi sees this with a bad intention or with a limited understanding, they think, oh, look at that. There is that actually, that Salafi in Sudan. Who, you know him? Oh, you have in Sudan, subhanAllah, dichotomy. You have like schizophrenic. You have the Sufi and the Salafi. Like you have the goofy Sufi and the Salafi. Both of them, they are there in Sudan, really, and they are at war every day. أيوة على كل حال. So you find this one, just I will show you his video. I have a proof. What is your proof? That Sufis, they worship women, and look at this description. And he brought this qasida and other qasida. سلبت ليلى مني العقل قلت يا ليلى ارحم القتلى. Look at, what is this? They are singing this in the masjid. They're singing about the body of women in the masjid. They're singing about the beauty of women in the masjid. And they are even, they have no shame. They talk about lust and wine. ذلك مبلغهم من العلم. If that's what you got,
that's what you got out of it.
But absolutely, if you don't know this, I mean, you are allowed to think this if you go to a bar. So if you go to the bar and people are سلبت ليلى من العقلة, oh, you are not going to say, oh, these are talking about God. Absolutely, they are talking about Layla. They are talking about a woman, her name is Layla. Absolutely, هذا أحرى بهم. هذا أحرى بمقامهم. لكل مقام مقال. But you go to people in a zawiyah with their beards, and elder people, and you see them, they're praying, they're fasting. You see from their behavior, they're not really into this. And they are telling you renounce sensuality to sharpen your spirit. All is about that. And then after that, they are telling you, أماطت عن محاسنها الخمارة. She lifted the veils and she all my body is on fire. He's not talking about a woman here. You need to be smarter and understand, okay, could this description apply to something else? Aywa.
Metaphor.
Aywa. So who is Layla? Aywa. So is Allah always he? She? What is it?
The beloved.
He's above all of that. He's above all of that. He's the beloved. The beloved, you can talk about the beloved. So for man, the beloved will be what? Another man?
She.
They did not live in Canada in the 21st century. For man, the beloved will be what? أيوة. And for women, رابعة العدوية. وحبك حبين حب الهواء وحب لأنك أهل لذاك. ولقد أبحت ولقد جعلتك في الفؤاد محدثي وأبحت جسمي من أراد جلوسي.
I love you with two loves.
الأخرى الثانية أبلغ. ولقد جعلتك في الفؤاد محدثي وأبحت جسمي من أراد جلوسي.
I have made you the one to whom I speak deep inside my heart, and I have allowed my body to be available for those who wish to seek my company in this life.
Again, I made my body available. I saw a description here. Oh, you see that said, okay, that's actually a state of they want with their understanding that Rabi'a al-Adawiyya alayha salamullah is talking. I allowed my body. يعني I allowed people to sleep with me, and they allowed. That's what they understood. And she was saying, just أبحت جسما أراد مجالستي, and you are in my heart. Anyways, على كل حال. So when someone doesn't understand and doesn't know the speaker, when you don't know who is speaking, the language could be the same. And then you will miss the point.
And it's also a crisis of taking everything as in a literal and very diminished form and reducing language to just its very literal meaning, which is.
So Sayyidina Dawood in his Psalms is talking about whom? Oh, Sayyidina Dawood, you have proof he fell in love, and you have them in the sacred book. The poems, Dawood is talking about the body of woman and comparing her things to and oh, that's love. Oh, you know what? Now in the new generation, yeah, because love is a sacred thing and it could be okay. Worse than that, there is a thesis, the whole thesis. The proof that homosexuality is not a problem, and that the Sufis and that in Islam homosexuality is allowed, and it is a good thing actually. Okay, from the Qur'an. يطوف عليهم غلمان مخلدون إذا رأيتهم حسبتهم لؤلؤا منثورا. يلا. Oh, it's not women here. يطوف عليهم غلمان.
It's a description that says, literally speaking, that
young men servants. Their faces are like silver, brilliant like that. When you look at them, you see these are pearls. أيوة. So what should we understand from this? When I see in the poetry of a man of God, just the poetry, we are not talking about the Qur'an yet. That's just the poetry. The poetry of a man of God, the man of God is talking about the face of a he and his face, and he made me crazy when he looked at me and when he gazed at me, when I gazed at him, etc. Could that be something? Could it be sensual to begin with? He's a man of God. He's talking about spirituality. Yes, but to talk about spirituality, to talk about spiritual meanings, there is a figure of speech. You can use it. There is something called bayan to shock and actually, subhanallah. And actually, subhanallah, it is baligh. It reaches the mind and reaches the heart because God is abstract. You know? And how concrete you are going to talk about that relationship and that experience that you may have with God. In order for you to bring it, to make it concrete, you have to compare it to something. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself, he said that about فَهَلَّ جَعَلْتَنِي كَأَحَدِ أَصْدِقَائِكَ, could you treat me like one of your friends, etc. So, what should we understand from these verses saying وَحُورٌ عَيْنٌ كَأَمْثَلِ اللُّؤْلُ الْمَكْنُونِ, and all these hadith talking about the حور العين, etc. Is it a sexual relationship that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about here? How about the rivers of wine? Is it this wine, the intoxicating wine? Is it wine like this? How about the milk? The milk doesn't get bad there? How about is there lactose-free milk river there? How about I don't like milk? So what should we do? And that was my question when I was a kid. I said, how about what's special about it? These two things, I hated them when I used to be a kid. Milk and honey. What should I drink there? I will keep just drinking water. You know?
Wine.
Yeah, you understand? You understand? So what is this? Is it really something sensual? Materialist? Exactly. The wording is the same. The wording is the same, but it is referring to spiritual realities. Since when the Jannah, the garden, is something
Physical.
Sensual? Yes, it is materialized. It is materialized, but it is a dream. It is materialized. But it's not like this. Not like this ephemeral life. Not like this physical life. It's not the same thing at all. It's not the same thing at all. So the same description is there to talk to an audience. It's not about that in Jannah you'll be getting married with women and you'll be having fun there all the time, and you'll be sleeping with virgins all the time, and you'll be. That's not the case. That's not what it is talking about. And actually, in the tafsir, the way they understood it, وعربا أبكارا, the one that has abkara in it. Yes. No. سورة الواقعة ما فيهاش أبكارا، فيها عربا أترابا. إنا أنشأناهن أبكارا وعربا أترابا لأصحاب اليمين. What is this abkar? Ibn al-Farid is saying, and the smallest of my murids, the youngest, the newest of my murids,
the novice,
the brides of thoughts, the virgins of thoughts,
the greenest of my murids.
The greenest of my murids. He is getting married. The bride is actually the virgin, the thoughts that are, or not the thoughts, the المعارف.
Knowledge, understandings.
the knowledge which is virgin. No one لم يطمثن من قبل إنس ولا جان. It did not come to the mind of an understanding of the Qur'an in the Qur'an that never came before to anyone before him. Will be brought to him like a bride will be brought to her husband. So Ibn al-Farid is telling you what you understand? Can you?
He's speaking about in this life.
No. Yes, he's speaking about in this life, but he's using the word
language.
abkar.
So abkar is translated as virgins, and he's saying, the Shaykh is saying that even the greenest of my students, the novice, the person who just began on their spiritual path, is blessed with, and he uses that same language, virgin meanings that have never ever been experienced by anybody else when it comes to their recitation of Qur'an and their understanding of Qur'an, that these completely fresh meanings are given to these people. They come to their minds. So it's the same language.
أقرأ البيت.
عين قلبه عرائس أبكار المعارف
زفتي فأصغر أتباعي على عين قلبه عرائس أبكار المعارف زفتي. على قلبه زفت المعارف تجي القلب.
The newest of my students, there comes to his heart new and fresh and untouched and inexperienced meanings that have never been experienced by another human being when it comes to the word of God, and these meanings are brought to him like brides being brought on their wedding day to the groom.
And no one touched her before him. You understand? He's talking about
just
ideas.
for that person. It's like a gift of understanding that comes just for you. That's the level of this kind of a seeker of God.
Let us repeat it again. وأصغر أتباعي على عين قلبه عرائس أبكار المعارف زفتي.
The youngest and the newest of the seekers of God who come to me receives in the depth of his heart new meanings of Qur'an that have never been experienced by anyone else before. They come to him like brides being brought to a groom on their wedding day.
So you understand لم يطمثن من قبلهم إنس ولا جان. لم يطمثن. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about the virgins of the paradise, and he's saying the same thing. They're abkar, they're virgins. Not a human being or a jinn have touched them before. What would that be? What would that be? Something, lustful thing? The body of a human being? They are there? They are really? The people of paradise, they will be really
a pretty girl.
Searching for that? A pretty girl that no one has touched before? Really? Seriously? They left it in this dunya to find it there? Really? What would that be? Look, Ibn al-Farid, what did he tell you? You remember last Rawah how he said everyone has a secret with God, and God will tell you something that no one else could have, and so it is a figure of speech. It is a figure of speech, and it is to talk about the generosity of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it is talking in the symbolic meaning. We have to understand very well, and we have to say it clearly. Even if some people, they will, no, it is symbolic. The whole description of the Jannah is but symbolic. We believe in al-Jannah haqq. We are not saying when we say symbolic, we are not saying it's not true. But Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself said it is symbolic. He said, "Ma la aynun ra'at, wa la udhun sami'at, wa la khatara ala qalbi bashar, fasal."
It's the description in paradise is that it's something that no eye has ever seen, nor any ear has ever heard, nor is it something that could ever occur to a human being to comprehend or to imagine.
So sexual relationship, it occurs to your mind, right? So it's not like that. It's not that sensual relationship. So it's not, what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling you here, it's not something tudraku bil hissi yet. It's not something that you will actually تدركها أو تتمتع بها بحسك. It's not something that you
You will
will
experience with your
and
physical
enjoy.
senses. You cannot experience it with your physical
You're
senses.
not going to enjoy the Jannah with your physical senses. What's left of the physical senses? You're dead. خلاص أنت رحت. What's left of your physical senses? You're free.
Your body is gone.
You're free.
It's over.
Oh no, you are going to get back a body of 33-year-old. It means what? What's the meaning of 33? What's the symbol of 33? Why do we say 33? Subhanallah, 33, Alhamdulillah, 33, Allah Akbar. Why 33? Because they're baqiyat salihat. 33 is the number of eternity.
Everlasting.
Everlasting. It's called the everlasting number, 333, 33.
Again, it's symbolic.
Again.
Symbolic of eternal life. Eternal everlastingness. Of not aging.
You think Rasulullah was talking to stupid people? Let alone himself? Astaghfirullah al-wahad al-ahad. Think that their mind was reduced to that? You think that Sufis are smarter than the Sahaba of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Yeah? Ibn al-Fard and al-Hallaj, they were smarter than Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions. Allahu Akbar. Or you think that you have more pudeur, more
modesty, purity and modesty.
More purity of your soul than he, alayhi salatu wasalam. If you cringe when you think of the idea that in paradise will be drinking wine and having la fête là, on va faire la fête là, hein, Alex? Au paradis, on va faire la fête là, vraiment là, on va boire là, puis, hein? If yourself you just laugh at this idea, this is stupid. Drinking milk until you start vomiting after that, and drinking wine until you get drunk, and then you know what, and then here, girls. So why? Khalas, we have that here. I can go to any disco of Ottawa. Why would I go to the... Seriously. Why would I kill myself for the sake of God to get that?
Why wait and suffer through this life only?
No.
So the only advantage is that you get it eternally.
That's for your generation. You see, that teaching is part of the Wahhabi propaganda for the generation
you have to
who...
repeat it.
Huh? Yes, say it, repeat it.
So Noor is saying that that's actually what we were taught. That's the whole point. You forego these beautiful pleasures in this life so that you'll get it in the next life, and you'll get it forever and an even better experience of it in the next life.
So it's all terre à terre. It's all like, it's just another dunya.
It's another dunya.
Even more dunya than the dunya, where the haram becomes halal. You see how dangerous is that explanation, because it is giving you what? It is telling you what? That the religion is suffering. That the religion is fakhdu, is a
burden.
It's a burden. And then you are carrying that burden now. And khalas, when you die, you are not going to carry that burden anymore. Just carry that burden now, and after that you are going to
throw
open.
yourself into it.
Subhanallah. Khalas. You see how dangerous is that understanding? He's telling you, okay, you cannot now eat and live in golden houses and golden palaces and بشر خديجة ببيت من قصب لا صخب فيه ولا نصب, because Khadija, she was living in a very humble house in the dunya, or in the akhirah, you know what, you will take a
palace,
revenge, or you will take
you'll
حتنتقم يعني من الفقر.
You'll get your vengeance on poverty by becoming super
you will
wealthy.
be super rich, and you will have a house, you know what, with qasab, with قصب اللؤلؤ, is القصب اللؤلؤ المجوف. قصب اللؤلؤ المجوف, the transparent لؤلؤ. It is the لؤلؤ that is worked, then becomes like a glass.
It's the pearls that are so refined that they're like glass.
And look at this description of this house. قال يرى يرى ظاهره من باطنه وباطنه من ظاهره. Who wants to live in that place? I mean, there is no privacy.
You can see it. You can see the inside from the outside and the outside from the inside.
A palace, you can see the inside from the outside and the outside from the inside. Had it been a physical thing, who'd want to live there? You are exposed. You understand? So let us not sell God short, okay? Let us have حياء.
Have some shame.
Let us have some shame, really. You think that God and the Prophet ﷺ is telling you about something physical, material, that you will be a La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah ﷺ, a house? So what are the houses of paradise and these castles of paradise and these rivers of paradise and these versions of paradise? And what's that? What's that? What is that? Knowledge of God. Maqamat shuhud. Stations of witnessing the generosity of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the more thirsty you are, the more thirst you show in this dunya for God and for knowing God or for being with God, the more secrets of His generosity God will reveal to you that day.
We even call in this life people who are special or knowledge that really strikes us. We call them gems or a jewel of a person. So these are the jewels of God's gifts and revelation that you experience when you're in that realm as a soul.
Now still the sister will tell you why it is in the language of man. It is still addressing man. This language is poetry. Yes, it is symbolic, but it speaks to the man more, right? But tell her no, it doesn't speak to the man more, because poetry is not only for man. Yes, poets are man. They used mostly. But even women, they used to memorize this poetry, and they understand the meanings behind that, etc. So even when it is talking about man experiencing something, etc., it is for women. Women, they understand that meaning, and the people of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, man and women, they understand. And you will find women when they hear the qasida of Imam al-Harraq, أماطت عن محاسنها الخيارة فخلفت العقول بها حيارة. They are also doing like Sidi Anas, Allah, 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 Allah. What? These women are what? They are seeking. You understand? No. This is the word of spirits. We are speaking the same language, but it is the word of spirits. The word of spirituality is not the word of sensuality. This is the word of spirits. This is beyond, it's above. It's beyond the understanding and above the conception, let alone the misconception. It's above the good conception, let alone the misconception of some people. So let us not limit God in that.
And we have to understand also that in the romantic poetry, even in the English language, there is this idea of unrequited love. There is the idea of pursuing the beloved, and usually in most cultures, that's the male role, to pursue the beloved who is unreachable. And that was the case, and it was true in those societies, that women were not out hunting down the guy that they liked. That woman who is like Layla in the story, even of Layla and Majnun, she's the one who is hidden behind the walls. She's the one who is hard to reach. She's this beloved, you just catch a glimpse of her now and again. And so this fits perfectly with the idea of, as a spiritual seeker, you're seeking God. You're trying to get to that place where you'll be allowed to see His manifestation, and you put yourself in that role of pursuer. I'm pursuing God. But in other cases, and Rabi al-Adawiyya, she does this, she becomes the pursued, and she's the one who is pursued by God, and she's the one who is saved by God, like this knight coming to save her. So it just depends. There are all different ways to speak in this language of poetry that is steeped in all the figurative speech around love. And so it's just a matter of, just as you can enjoy Shakespeare, even as he's speaking as a man, and you're a woman, it's the same idea. So you can write your own poetry and you can add to the canon, and you can speak in a different way if that appeals to you. But certainly this idea of pursuing, the one who's pursuing this beloved who's hard to reach, and who you're really lucky if that beloved will lift their veil for a moment for you, or allow you to be in their company, all of that, it is very much in keeping with the sense of the murid, the one who's longing, the one who's trying to improve their own state to be worthy of being in the presence of God.
And that isn't to pursue her in Rabi al-Adawiyya as well? She said,
Yes, she
"Uhibbuka hubbayn."
speaks in both of those
So there isn't a
languages.
male in each female? And there isn't a female in each, every male? I'm not talking about the psychology. Yes, in the psychology, yes. Even the psychology said, they said, okay, that's male, female, that's physical, the physical body, but there is the male aspect in every female, and there is the female aspect in every male. How about the heart, al-qalb, male or female? Huh? Al-qalb. So khalas. That's why Ibn Farid said, ala qalbihi. He solved the thing long time ago. Said, ala qalbihi abkarul ma'arif zuffati. Because the qalb is mudhakkar. Wa abkarul ma'arif mu'annath. Ala qalbihi. The qalb is a male. You find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Qur'an, all the verses that are addressing haqiqa matter. Huh?
Matter, spiritual realities.
Spiritual reality. He is always using the male because he's talking to the heart. He's not talking to the physical body. When it is a Sharia matter, المسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات وللذكر مثل حظ الأنثيين, it's different. When it is a Sharia matter, a legal matter, something manifesting, something talking about managing our dunya and our physical life, then you have the male and female, it is relevant. But in the word of haqiqa and the word of spirituality, male and or female, the distinction between male and female, is it relevant? Is this difference relevant? Do man experience God in a way that is different than women? Some people are trying to push that. It's not true. The heart is the heart. The heart is the heart. In the haqiqa, do God manifest himself to women in a different way than man?
No.
Is the ma'arifah of Sayyidah Maryam alayha salam or the ma'arifah of Sayyidah Fatima alayha salam was any less or was less complete than the ma'arifah of Sayyidina Ali alayhi salam? It was exactly the same, if not more. Actually, she was his teacher after Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So, in the word of haqiqa, in the word of haqa'iq, in the word of realities, in the word of spirituality, male or female, the gender is not
relevant.
It's not relevant. So the Jannah is word of haqa'iq or word of it's alim ghaib or alim shahad? The Jannah from the ghaib. It is haqa'iq or sharia. The Jannah is haqiqa. So male or female is not relevant there. It's not relevant there. It's something else. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking to hearts. I mean, people who are ready to kill themselves for the sake of God, it means what? It means, are they still defining or referring to themselves as bodies? As physical beings? They refer to themselves as spirits. Huh? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us and you, inshallah, tawfiq and understanding. So the question of the sister took all the whole session, inshallah. Maybe one day you can summarize it together and prepare and make it in a shorter time, because this is very long for people to follow. Alhamdulillah, we're not prepared for the question, but alhamdulillah, هذا هو. This is, I hope this, and you'll find some fanatic people trying to understand that I'm saying when we say that the Jannah is like a dream, or, oh, you believe that Jannah is not real. Why? Dreams are not real? Did I tell you? You understand? Symbolic is not real. It is real, but it's not something that you can
It's not material.
fathom.
It's not material like this life. It's a different dimension.
You see, real and material, that's the problem, the confusion. That's the crisis. The crisis came, we go back, الذين يؤمنون بالغيب. Allah Akbar.
To the words. Because in the Greek, the word real means material. That's where
Aywa.
reality is something that's material. And for us, haqq or truth or haqiqa comes from haqq. The haqiqa, the reality comes from the word truth. And that's the name of God. And that is what's real. Everything to do with God is what's real.
You
Not
understand the
everything
crisis?
here.
You understand the crisis?
A completely different paradigm.
Say it again, between the Greek and the European thing and the Arab.
So in the English language, the word reality comes from a word that's Greek, which means material, something that's material. And so what?
And that's the whole philosophy. It continued up to now, up to now, up to the Muslims of today. If it is not material,
It's not real.
if I cannot touch it, it's not real, it does not exist. That's why the only aqidah that could fit with this paradigm is anthropomorphism. And why not making God a human being? With a hand bigger than the human beings, just a giant sitting on a throne in the heaven. With golden hair and golden shoes. Looking a bit like Louis XIV, somehow like that. Curling hair. Curly hair. Seriously. You know? Why not? Why not making him a human who comes and kills himself for the sake of other humans? And anthropomorphism. Only that aqidah could fit with this real, tangible, real, tangible. For them, real means is the synonymous of
Material.
but haqq in Arabic means something else. Al-Jannatu haqq doesn't mean Jannah is material. أشهد أن الجنة حق, but والله أشهد أن الجنة is not material.
It's truth.
أشهد أن الجنة is truth and it is حق. وأشهد أن النار حق, but أشهد أن الجنة is not material. وأشهد أن النار is not material. وأشهد أن الله حق وأشهد أن الله is not material. Allahu Akbar. You understand? Some people, you're saying, no, I'm just saying that it's not material. It's not material. It's not the milk that you know. It's a different kind of milk that doesn't get rotten. No, it's not even a different kind of milk. You know what? It doesn't have from the milk except the name. Allah referred to it with milk. Go and understand. Milk, when Rasulullah ﷺ was given the 3 cups in the night of Ascension, he was given a cup of milk and a cup of wine and a cup of water, and has chosen the cup of milk. ما تأويل ذلك يا أخي جبريل؟ تأويل? It's not real? It is real. Are you saying that Rasulullah ﷺ did not go with his body? You know what? You won't able to fathom that anyhow. No, I'm not saying anything like that. No, with his body and with his soul. What is his body? Do you know the prophetic body yourself? You are comparing his body to your body? Okay. Then sit there. Stand at your limits, okay? Whatever. He was given ما تأويل ذلك يا أخي جبريل؟ قال تلك الفطرة أصبت الفطرة يا محمد. You drank from the cup of fitra. Fitra? It's milk. No, it's fitra. Milk or fitra? You understand? People would just want to reduce things and want to, what يعني? Even to say that Rasulullah ﷺ went in the night of the Ascension with his body, it means what? On une soucoupe volante? It means what? It means what when it's his body? It means what? بجسده. Yes, أسري بروحه وجسده وعرج بجسده وروحه. نعم. But how? What does that mean? What does that mean? Kept traveling like that in the sky and stars and looking at the stars and the stars like the fusée, like صاروخ.
Spaceship.
Like the special
rocket.
the spatial rocket, like that. And the buraq is just a rocket that is faster than rockets. It's a horse that is faster than rockets, like that. And no, please. Please. Please, these things only Sufis could understand. And I say it loud and clear. These meanings only those who they can't understand, but they can get a glimpse of. Because of them, they are able to experience, maybe if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them, they are able to experience a glimpse. Like they just get wet. They understand how the ocean should, if this is the drop, how would the ocean be? It's not like someone who is still addicted to porn movies who's going to understand how the Jannah looks like. It's not that. It's not that. So you understand the crisis? Identifying real to
Material.
That's the problem. That's the problem. That's the problem. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts the Qur'an from the beginning. Those who do not identify real to material, الذين يؤمنون بالغيب. Alif Lam Mim. Alif Lam Mim, a cup of infinity is being poured now into the bucket, into the lake, into the receptacle of the finite. What a mystery. This is the holy and the whole experience of the revelation. A line of infinity. The rain is pouring down, is pouring into the bucket or the lake or the vicinity or the basin or the vessel or the receptacle of the finite. And what a mystery. Through the connection of the Lamb. From Allah to Muhammad. Alif, the vertical. From coming down. From up, coming down. Like rain. And then that water is
being channeled.
And then it reaches the lake of the Meme.
It's being received.
ذلك الكتاب. This is the example, this is the parable of the revelation. لا ريب فيه, there is no doubt about it. هدى, this is the parable. Alif Lam Mim is a parable. It's like rain coming from the infinite, pouring into the lake of the finite. And what a mystery. And what a mystery. When you understand the connection and the connection between the alif and the circle. And when you are a perfect circle, when you become a meme, somehow your beginning will meet your end. And somehow you embrace the infinity. You who was finite, you are a segment. The meme is not a line, it's a segment. But when it becomes like this, you keep turning, keep making tawaf. Huh? When you let the alif, you alif baynakum. When you allow the alif to make the alif between you. Huh?
To connect you. To create familiarity between that infinite and your finite.
When you become that circle of consciousness, the meme. This message addresses that circle of consciousness. This message addresses the opening in you. The eyes of your heart, your inner secret, that's the meme. Open, your inner eye open. And this is the alif li meme. This alif, this message is pouring down to that meme, to that say, open. My eyes, no. Your ears, no. Just open your hearts. Open big your, they say open big your heart. Open wide. Just open wide. What? My ears? No, no, no. My eyes? No, no, no. Just open wide your heart to receive. Ya Muhammad. على قلبك نزلناه. طيب. ذلك الكتاب, this is the parable. of the book. This is the parable of the revelation. This is another understanding. This is the parable of the revelation. This is the whole story. This is the whole mystery. The infinite talking to the finite. لا ريب فيه, there is no doubt about it. هدى للمتقين, guidance for those who are seeking guidance. Who are they? الذين يؤمنون بالغيب, the first quality. Those who, it means those who consider real things that are not actually material. Those who are ready to see reality beyond materiality. Allow this word, this wording. Those who allow to see, those who can see reality beyond materiality. Those who are ready to see the real beyond the material. And that's the whole saga. That's the whole story. What's the problem of the Quraysh? هلم إلى محمد يأمرنا أن نعبد إلها لا نراه. Come and listen to this crazy man. He's inviting us to worship a God we do not see. And those who could not divorce the materiality, even though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the real was talking to them and giving them man wa salwa وطريقا في البحر يبسا. Allahu Akbar. The manifestation of God was so real. Miracle after miracle, miracle after miracle. Musa alayhi salam, يدك تخرج بيضاء من غير سوء, عصا becoming a serpent. طريقا في البحر يبسا, the generosity of God manifesting itself to them.
Parting the seas.
Parting the sea. A path, a solid path in the sea. Food coming from heavens. Still, they could not divorce with the Pharaohic paradigm. It can't be real if it is not tangible and material.
Earthly.
Ask your Lord to give us food from the ground. We can touch, we can actually get involved into the production. We can actually have control over it. You understand the other sine qua non of the materialism? Why this insistence that only material exists? Why the modern human being insists that only what is material exists? Why?
Control freak.
Why? Control freak. Control freak. Because if it is material, that means وَظَنَّ أَهْلُهَا أَنَّهُمْ قَادِرُونَ عَلَيْهَا. If it is material, that means I can
control it.
أَرِنَ اللَّهَ جَهْرًا. Even God, they wanted to see him. Not out of the yearning. Musa himself asked, أَرِنِي أَنظُرْ إِلَيْكَ. What's the difference between Musa asking God, رَبِّي أَرِنِي أَنظُرْ إِلَيْكَ, and the children of Israel, أَرِنَ اللَّهَ جَهْرًا? What is the difference? My theater is making it easier for you, but what is the difference? Someone will just reading, this is ridiculous. Why they are getting punished for following their prophet? No. Musa was أرني أنظر إليك. Musa was خلاص. Musa was like أماطت عن محاسنها الخمارة. He was like, please lift up the veil. I want to see you, my beauty. I want to see you, my beloved.
He wanted to enter the infinite to see the true reality. He didn't want to bring the true reality down to the material level. When his people were asking, show us God, then show us what he looks like, that was their attitude. Show us at our level. Where is God, like the trees and like the plants? If we don't see him in that way, forget it.
And when that did not happen, they wanted to materialize it, God. عجلا جسدا له خوار. Let us have عجلا جسدا. They want جسد. ثقافة الجسد. فهمت ثقافة الجسد? The culture of the jasad, the culture of the material, the culture of the body. That's the problem.
The culture of the physical.
The culture of the physical. So Qur'an was not revealed on Greek people. Qur'an was revealed lisanan Arabiyan. Not for Greek people, it was revealed for Arab people. And Greek people, they need to Arabize their paradigms to understand. It's not about physical. The Arab man, when he speaks about women, he's not actually talking about women. It's a language. He or she is very relative in Arabic. It doesn't mean really the he or she that it comes to your mind. It's not the male or female, it's beyond that. Even the Kaaba. The Kaaba calling the Kaaba Salma, Sulayma. By the way, Layla, who's Layla? God's essence, La ilaha illallah. أماطت عن محاسنها الخمار. Now read it again, that poetry. Now you know that he's talking about La ilaha illallah. أماطت عن محاسنها الخمار.
She lifted her face veil from the beauty of her face to reveal the beauty of her face.
To reveal her realities. La ilaha illallah is revealing her secrets. It's not like the damn people are just, they just stop at the level, only God is to be worshipped. How do they translate it?
There is no God worthy of worship except God.
Wow.
There is no one worthy of worship except God.
There is no one worthy of worship except God.
Or there is no God but God.
Okay, there is no God but God. Yeah, so how about the secrets of it? How about la maqsuda illallah? How about la mawjuda illallah? How about la mashhuda illallah? The levels. أماتت عن محاسنها الخمار. This notion of tawheed.
So there is no one to be pursued but God. That's one
This
of the
notion of
levels.
tawheed lifted the veils and allowed me to
Witness the beauty of those meanings.
her beauty. This notion of tawheed, this la ilaha illallah, this kalima, this layla, this essence, this divine secret, lifted the veils and allowed me to swim and to embrace her and to really go and gave me her wine
And let me unite with her.
and let me unite with her and all of that. You understand? So the crisis is identifying the real to
Physical.
the physical, to the material. And Muslims were not like that. At least in the time of the Sahaba. They knew there is nothing about, it's nothing about physical. Some people will come and tell you, you know, the Qur'an is a smart thing, but only those who came now are smart enough to understand it. And because, you know, the Sahaba, they were just those Bedouins, etc. And Rasulullah ﷺ was speaking to their level. And some of them will tell you, you know what, even the Prophet himself, you know, he did not understand what God was telling him. And that was enough to motivate him. It was enough to motivate him to do things, but actually, and that current started at some point, until one of them said, وَقَفْنَا عَلَى Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Anyways, وَخُذْنَا بَحْرًا, we went deep into a sea that the prophets, they just stayed at the shore of. Allahu A'lam, the one, we can find a good interpretation of that, and they did that in the past. But it is attributed to Sidi Abi Yazid al-Bastami. If he's the one who said it, he never meant that, for sure, because we know who Abu Yazid is, from other poetry and from his practice and from his life, etc. But there are people who understood Abu Yazid wrong. There are people who understood Abu Yazid wrong, and they call themselves Sufis as well. And they started saying that we reached the level of purity better and higher than the level of purity that the prophets have reached. And the personal development is but increasing from Adam to Muhammad, and then it is increasing after that. And Ali is a'la than Muhammad, is his personality is even more developed than Muhammad, and then Hassan is أعلى من Ali, wa Hussein أعلى من Hassan, and you keep going like that with the Imams until you find the Hadir Imam, who is the ultimate human perfection. There are the Batiniya who actually, some of them, they believe in this. It's tempting. It's a tempting idea. It's a tempting idea to believe that you are better than anyone before, and to believe that the human... Again, this is a linear. This is also the materialism and evolution, and things are going like this and becoming... this is underestimating our ancestors and believing that we are doing better. And it's modernism. It's modernism.
It's the idea of progress.
It's the idea of modernism, the idea
of progress.
That whole idea of progress. And these aqidas, they got crystallized actually within this last century. The aqidah batiniya became like this, and they started really talking openly and widely about it like this now. And you have many Orientalists who will embrace that, and some of them, they will tell you, the Qur'an is a golden thing, is a secret thing, but Muhammad was not that smart. He was not that intelligent to understand what it is. He just conveyed it, and he lived with what he could understand. It was good enough for them, but for us, we should be smarter and understand something more. No. And that's not what we are saying. Absolutely not. But what we are saying, if this understanding comes to your mind, or to my mind, or to the mind of Ibn al-Farid, or to the mind of Hallaj, that means it was already there in that circle of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Abu Bakr and Umar. And I cannot imagine the circle of the Sahaba but a circle of the best of Sufis. I can't imagine the circle of the Sahaba except being the circle of the best of Sufis who will understand bil ishara. Everything was ishara. What is ishara?
Understood through gestures and understood
allegory.
Through signs and allegories.
Through allegories.
Metaphors.
You see me here and just subhanallah, and when I speak and I give a word, do I mean that? When I say kill him, I mean kill him, go and kill him. Subhanallah.
Figurative speech.
Kill the meaning, or just what? Even in English, they nail it. I mean, take a nail and nail it. You know. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah, bless you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us a tawfiq. So, الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ, those who believe in the unseen. That means those who are ready to see real what is not
material,
materialized, what is not material in front of them. And actually those who only believe in the ghaib. Those who do not see real except things that are not tangible. If they are tangible, they are relative. Because what is relative? Al-mahsusat, al-hawas are relative.
The senses.
Even philosophers, they said that. The first generation of philosophers, they said that. What did they say? Said anything that al-hawas will bring you, anything that the senses will bring you,
any sensation brought to you by any of the senses is relative.
Is relative.
And that's why people have different experiences.
أي شيء دخل من باب الحواس فهو نسبي.
With the same smell or the same sound, different people experience it slightly differently.
فأي معرفة تدخل عليك من باب الحواس فهي في حقيقتها جهل. يقول الإمام الغزالي ما هي معرفة فهي معرفة نسبية.
Imam al-Ghazali says that any understanding or knowledge that comes through you through these five senses is only relative, is only incomplete. It cannot be considered ultimate true knowledge. It cannot be considered as reality or truth itself. It is your experience and your perception.
What is hot for you is not hot for her. What is cold for you is not cold for him. And there are other creatures. What smells nice for you doesn't smell nice for them, and the opposite.
And even you yourself with
what
time.
You see white, the cats don't see white.
And you yourself with time change in your perception of the same temperature or the same taste.
It's relative. So if you want the ma'arif al-haqiqiyya, if we are looking for the true knowledge of God, where are we going to get it?
If you're looking for absolute truth and not relative truth,
where are we going to get it? In the heart, in the ghaib. Au fond de soi-même, in the ghaib.
in the unseen experience, in the impalpable, intangible, spiritual experience. That's where truth lies.
So inshallah, when we have a generation of Muslims, when they read the verses about paradise, the versions, etc., they don't watch a porn movie in the same time. They don't just start imagining those ugly pictures. Then we can hope that Jerusalem will come back to Muslims, inshallah. But until then, if you have people insisting that what's happening in paradise is actually lust and
Nightclub. Like a
nightclub kind of ambience, على الإسلام السلام. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us and save us, inshallah, from all innovations. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us from our own stupidity. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cure us from stupidity. And cure us, wallahi al-wahad al-ahad. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawbah from stupidity. Seriously. The biggest sin of the human being is to be stupid. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us to be intelligent. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala heal us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala elevate us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase us. Ameen ya arhamar rahimin rabbil alameen. Ameen ya arhamar rahimin rabbil alameen. Ameen ya arhamar rahimin rabbil alameen.
Rabbi salli ala nabi shafi'ina Ahmad. Allah salli Rabbi ala النبي مولانا